Brittney Griner believed her controversial comments about Caitlin Clark would never bring any consequences. But Indiana Governor Braun recently made a surprising statement that has stirred up the entire WNBA. The league investigated false claims that Fever fans made offensive remarks while overlooking serious concerns surrounding Griner's widely circulated video. With political pressure continuing to grow, major changes could be on the way. Do you think there is clear bias against Caitlin Clark and her fanbase in the WNBA's handling of these allegations? Well, things have taken another turn now that someone with real authority has stepped in and challenged the league's double standards. In a league many believe goes out of its way to protect certain players, Brittney Griner appeared confident that her controversial remarks would simply fade away. However, Governor Braun of Indiana has now completely disrupted that expectation, and the fallout could be significant. This story has even more twists and drama than anyone expected. So, let's take a closer look at everything that happened. Subscribe today and never miss another shocking WNBA moment.
She accused the Indiana Fever fan base of being racist. They investigated it. They said those accusations were false. The least that she could do is apologize to our great state and the fans that show up at these games and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Obviously, she's not going to do that. But also, Dan, why isn't the Indiana Fever apologizing to their own fan base for putting them through that, for going through those types of accusations? I mean, those are awful accusations. They weren't true. The fans weren't shouting racial slurs toward Angel Reese or opposing players. I mean, where is Caitlin Clark? Where is the Indiana Fever? Where is the WNBA saying that investigation there shouldn't have been an investigation? The allegations were false. Where's the apology? It hasn't happened. It's disappointing. As someone who is, my daughters are fans of the team. They've gone to games to see Caitlin Clark. It's so demeaning to our state and to the fan base to go through something like that. The least they...
After the Sky were defeated by 30 points, the WNBA spent time and resources investigating claims that Fever fans had made offensive remarks about Angel Reese. In the end, even the league admitted those accusations were unsupported because no evidence backed them up. That's where the situation becomes much more interesting. Millions of people believed Brittney Griner called Caitlin Clark trash and used the phrase F*********** ing white girl in a viral video, yet the league appeared to ignore those concerns while focusing instead on allegations of racism that were never proven.
The right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats and feel safe and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are. Definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
It's difficult to ignore how obvious the double standard appears. The WNBA is willing to investigate alleged hate speech that was never confirmed. But when there is actual video that many people believe raises serious concerns involving one of the league's protected players, it suddenly seems to look the other way. It almost feels as if the league only recognizes discrimination when it supports its preferred narrative. Governor Braun addressed that concern in a measured way when he said, I think if there was some look into what Angel Reese did, I think it would be good to put that to rest as well. He wasn't simply making a suggestion. He was signaling that the WNBA's perceived bias is being noticed by people in positions of real authority. Subscribe for daily WNBA drama, breaking news, and exclusive player stories.
Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever are the best gift that the WNBA has ever had. I mean, and the fans that show up and pack that place, I mean, sell out crowds every time Caitlin Clark plays. It's so great for Indiana, but it's good for the WNBA. But how dare you accuse our fans, the Hoosiers that show up at these games, being racist when they're not? I mean, that was an opposing player who hates Caitlin Clark. Frankly, it's a great rivalry for the teams and for the sport. But don't accuse our fans of being racist. I mean, that's the kind of garbage that gets thrown around all the time. It wasn't true. The investigation proved it, and there was no outcome of it. There was no apology. Apologize to the fans. I mean, that's a simple thing to do, and I wish the team would have been more emphatic about that. Stand up, stick up for your fan base. I mean, that's who's keeping you alive. So Maybe they'll still do that. I don't know. I mean, I tweeted that Angel Reese should apologize, and my tweet got a lot of reactions, but I'm not going to hold.
The governor made it clear that he would not tolerate racism or bullying. He also said people should be held responsible when they make inappropriate or unacceptable remarks. Yet many believe the WNBA only takes action when it benefits certain players while placing others under greater scrutiny. Now, let's discuss the Brittney Griner video that has spread widely and attracted so much attention. Many viewers believe the video showed Griner calling Caitlin Clark trash and using a racial remark. Supporters of Griner argue that she was actually referring to a referee's decision, saying the call was garbage and a F*******ing call. But here's the question. If that is truly what Griner meant, why hasn't she publicly clarified it? More importantly, why hasn't the WNBA released a statement explaining the situation? The league has remained silent, and that silence stands out when compared to how quickly it launched a full investigation into accusations involving Angel Reese that ultimately proved false. That contrast has led many people to question the league's approach. When there is a genuine controversy captured on video, it seems unwilling to respond. Many critics point to this as another example of what they believe is the WNBA's system of protecting certain players. Some athletes appear to receive endless support, while others are criticized for nearly everything they do. Caitlin Clark faces intense scrutiny over every turnover, every facial expression, and every perceived slight toward opponents. Meanwhile, Brittney Griner was accused of making controversial remarks on video, yet the league has acted as though nothing happened. The timing of this debate has only made the discussion even bigger. This all happened right after a game in which Caitlin Clark did not even play, yet the Fever still dominated the Sky. After such an embarrassing loss, many believe the Sky needed something to shift attention away from their own struggles. Soon afterward, allegations about offensive comments from Fever supporters surfaced, giving the league something to investigate while portraying Reese as the victim instead of focusing on a team that had been thoroughly outplayed without Clark on the floor. Governor Braun, however, has not accepted that narrative. He understands what Caitlin Clark means to Indiana and how much she has contributed to basketball across the state. He recognizes that Clark has reignited excitement at both the college and high school levels while filling Gainbridge Arena just as the Pacers do. This goes beyond basketball. It is about protecting an athlete who has brought Indiana unprecedented attention and economic benefits. The governors hope that the hostility toward Clark would come to an end, while also calling for equal treatment, reflects what many believe is the real issue. Critics argue that the WNBA has created an environment where defending Caitlin Clark or her supporters is viewed negatively, while criticizing her is often accepted. Senator Jim Banks has already urged the WNBA to apologize to Fever fans for launching what he described as a baseless investigation. Governor Braun has now reinforced that position by calling for legitimate concerns to receive the same level of attention. These are not simply politicians looking for headlines. They are elected officials from Indiana who understand the cultural and economic importance of what is happening. The involvement of government officials should be a serious wake-up call for the WNBA. When concerns about fairness become significant enough that elected leaders feel the need to step in, it suggests the situation has reached another level. This is not simply about politics. It is about fairness and equal treatment under the league's own standards. Brittney Griner's response to all of this will certainly attract attention. She has long been viewed by many as someone protected from major consequences within the WNBA. Because of her status and position in the league, many believe she has often been treated as untouchable. But now she could face closer scrutiny from people who are not influenced by the WNBA's internal politics or power structure. The contrast with the way controversies involving Caitlin Clark are handled is difficult for many observers to ignore. The media debates whether Clark deserved a hard foul. The league appears to dismiss concerns over remarks directed at Clark. But when false accusations are made against her supporters, the WNBA suddenly launches a full-scale investigation. The review Governor Braun is calling for could open the door to much broader questions about how the league applies its standards. If equal rules are truly enforced, many uncomfortable issues could come into focus. Critics argue the league has operated under a system where some players receive protection while others face constant criticism, and that approach may now come under increasing outside pressure. The most damaging part of this entire situation may not even be the exact words Griner did or did not say. Instead, it is the growing perception that the WNBA's investigative process is inconsistent and unfair. The league investigated unsupported allegations involving fans while many believe it ignored legitimate concerns involving players. It moves quickly to defend some athletes while allowing others to face criticism without the same level of support. Governor Braun's involvement also highlights something many believe the WNBA has struggled to acknowledge. Caitlin Clark has brought the league unprecedented attention, financial growth, and national visibility. The willingness of government officials to defend her while questioning the league's handling of these issues shows that Clark's influence extends well beyond basketball. For Brittney Griner, the timing could hardly be more challenging. After facing previous controversies and criticism, she may now encounter greater accountability for her actions. For someone many believe has enjoyed significant protection, that sense of security may finally be beginning to fade.